So you want that big screen, minimal bezel look, but you don't want the massive bills that come with it. Well, this is the Maze Alpha, and it costs less than $250, and that's a considerable difference from the $600 or more that you'll pay for the Galaxy S8 or the LG G6. Now naturally, that means that it's not quite the same sort of phone, but if you're willing to make a few concessions, then you could have a device that looks, to us, extremely similar to the Xiaomi Mi Mix, which started off this whole trend. Now, Maze is a new smartphone manufacturer, comes from China, and the device you're looking at has got a 6-inch screen, but as you can see, it fits quite happily in my hand. The 6-inch 1080p screen is mounted inside this really quite stylish body. It's almost completely smooth on the rear, apart from a little bit of branding down the bottom. This is made from glass, and it's a metal body. It is quite thick and heavy. This is a similar weight to the Xiaomi Mi Mix, so around 200 grams. That's way more than an iPhone 7 Plus or any other big screen phone you'll buy at the moment. But for that, you do get to enjoy this huge screen and all the benefits that that brings. Everything looks just a lot larger, and even going into the App Store, you can see that you just get this really quite large real estate. You can drop away the Android buttons down there and enjoy that big screen experience. The Maze Alpha runs Android 7, and although it looks a little bit different than what we might expect Android 7 to look like, because it has some old style icons for some unusual reason, and there's no app drawer, it does have all the usual Google services installed. If we take a look at the YouTube app, you can see how cool that full screen experience is, like that. We think that looks pretty spectacular. There are some minimal black bezels around the edge here, and obviously this section at the bottom, but we think that looks really great, and certainly watching videos on the screen is really fantastic. The quality is superb. We really like the screen on the Maze Alpha. On the rear, you've got that other big smartphone trend at the moment, the dual lens camera. You can just see in there. These are working in a similar way to what we'd expect most to do, so you have a blurred background effect. However, it's a bit strange on the Maze Alpha. It has this unusual way of blurring out background, and it seems to only work in the center of the image. But what it does do as well is give you a nice 2x zoom, which is very welcome on a smartphone these days. Again, it is hybrid, but it's certainly much better than you'll get with just a digital zoom. The camera takes acceptable pictures. We've not been overly impressed, but for the price, it's very, very good. Inside the Maze Alpha is a MediaTek processor with 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of storage. So this is generally a mid-range phone. However, it's that screen and the design of the device that you're paying the money for. Going back again to the camera and the design concession you have to make with a phone like this. The selfie cam is down here. So when you enter selfie mode, you are told to turn the device around like that in order to get a sensible view with the selfie cam. It's a bit of a pain. It's something we had to do on the Xiaomi Mi Mix, but if you're a regular selfie taker, probably it'll annoy, but if you're not, you'll probably get used to it. So you're asking, how similar is this to the Xiaomi Mi Mix? Well, we have one here. And as you can see, in terms of size and design, they're extremely similar. Even if you look at the sides, despite the Xiaomi phone having that gorgeous ceramic body, they are pretty much the same. However, when you open the Mi Mix and you have a look at the screen itself, you can see that there is a considerable difference between the two. Oops. The Mi Mix is definitely the the higher quality look, and there are smaller bezels certainly down the bottom here where the little on-screen Android buttons are. It's a neater solution on the Xiaomi Mi Mix. However, you're going to be paying way over $500 if you can even find one for the Xiaomi Mi Mix. The Maze Alpha can be purchased right now for $225. So it's a lot of money to save to still get an extremely similar device. In the US, you can purchase the phone quite happily from a Chinese importer. However, you're going to miss out on 4G connectivity. You're going to have to make do with 3G. If that doesn't bother you, then fine. It'll probably bother us, but not everyone is going to worry too much. You get a nice fingerprint sensor down the bottom. You get this really quite pleasant to hold 6-inch screen with a wonderful 1080p resolution and a very nice video experience for not a lot of money. You can read more about the Maze Alpha on Digital Trends right now.